guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to give you guys a champion guide for Sandlashed Survivor. Is she as good as all the hype around her? She's one of the two more recent epic support / defense based champions added to Raid Shadow Legends, along with Sepulchre Sentinel, who is an incredible champion. Sandlashed Survivor, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and ruin the surprise, the bottom line on this champion right out the gate. She is worth it. I'm gonna say, if you're lucky enough to pull a Sandlashed Survivor, I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, she's going to help your account for 99% of you guys, because she is viable endgame in dungeons, viable endgame in faction wars, and incredibly viable, not just viable, just really good in faction wars, and very good in clan boss in the endgame as well. And if you're in the mid game or the early game and you're lucky enough again to pull a Sandlashed Survivor, she's tremendous in progression anywhere. Nightmare campaign, just through the difficult stages of dungeons as you're progressing inside this game. Sandlashed Survivor is going to help you guys out a ton. Today we're going to talk about why and demonstrate some of that. So if you look at her skills on Smell Weakness, she has a 50% chance of landing a Provoke if the champion has no debuffs, or if she on the target for one turn if this champion has no debuffs. So that's great, right? And you can use her as kind of a pseudo CC champion, adding that crowd control utility to the rest of her kit, which is tremendous, especially if you put her with a counterattack champion on the same team, or she's actually one of the few viable candidates for retaliation gear out there. So she's having a chance to counterattack and thereby doing more provokes on her A1, right? Same thing for avenging gear, right? Granted, that's with a critical hit, but still, either way, a pretty solid A1 on her. Endless Sands on the A2 ability is really her big money ability. This is what makes her so good, guys. Attacks all enemies, decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn, increase the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn on 3-turn cooldown based on defense too. So you're building her out with a lot of defense. She does hit pretty hard too, so I would advise you guys build her out with 100% crit rate on top of that, so she can add some damage as well as kind of her portfolio that she's bringing to the table for your teams, okay? So think about it this way. Not only are you essentially decreasing the duration of all ally buffs, decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn. So it's kind of a quasi debuff stripper, which makes her also viable in the arena, because you can take away that unkillable, for example, of Skull Crown, or you can take away just kind of some of the annoying buffs that last 1 turn in the game for arena, adding with the support that she brings to the table on top of that, right? You can use her as an arena support champion as well. I'm not saying she's platinum viable necessarily, but still can be a solid arena champion, especially arena defense with this A3. And then increase the duration of all allied buffs. That's the key thing on this champion, right? Increasing buff duration is going to help you keep those counterattacks and keep those increased defenses, increase attack buffs, all the strong buffs in this game, strengthen, increase crit damage, all of these great buffs, speed, increase speed, right? It's going to help you keep those buffs on your allies permanently because of this ability, because usually these buffs are on like a 3-turn cooldown and they last for 2 turns, so you have 1 turn without those buffs. Not with Sandlashed Survivor. It's going to make sure that those big buffs are on all of your allies constantly, and that's what makes her so good. Born Survivor has a 50% chance to place an ally protect buff on all allies for 2 turns when any allies drops below 50%. That's on a 4-turn cooldown. That's a passive ability. Also place a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn. Block damage is an incredible ability to have as part of her kit as well, because what that's going to do is, unlike an unkillable buff, she's not going to be taking any damage. So when she's done with the ally protect on that first round, when she's eating up all that damage, she's still going to have high HP because she's not taking any damage. Rather than, the Skull Crusher, he has the ally protect with the unkillable, so he's usually at 1 HP, right, when he's done. Anyway, her aura, it keeps getting better with Sandlashed Survivor. Her aura is increased allied defense in all battles by 25%. The holy grail of defensive auras in the game. So you can run her as your aura lead in pretty much all your teams where you need that sustainability from this champion. As we always talk about on masteries, dependent on how and where you're going to use this champion. However, this is how I have her set up. Pretty pretty, normal setup for a defense-based champion who I want to be doing some damage to with the War Master. So I chose to go kind of the usual War Master tree, ending with War Master in offense, getting that extra damage against bosses and against clan boss. And then on defense, again, I like the counterattack chance on her, so I like deterrence. Has a 20% chance to counterattack when an enemy, when they apply freeze, sleep, all this stuff, and stun for clan boss on any ally. And then has retribution, 50% chance to counterattack when this champion loses 25% of their max HP on one or more single enemy skill. So again, extra counterattack to land those provokes is going to help us out in dungeons as well, okay? So that's how I have her built out, is masteries. You can also go support tree because, again, you do have some debuffs on this champion. The provoke and also the decreased duration of all enemy buffs both are predicated on having some accuracy on this champion, okay? So let's move myself over back to the left-hand side and talk about artifacts. We have a number of directions. We already talked about the retaliation or the avenging set that you can opt to put on your Sandlashed Survivor. Otherwise, just go with sustainability. Immortal, defense, life sets are all great on this champion. Maybe an accuracy set, crit rate set, speed sets, all good on this champion. And also, I have her in lifesteal. Lifesteal's also great on this champion because she's going to have that ally protect down, so it's going to help keep her alive if she's constantly recouping more HP when that block damage buff gets, because it's only for one turn. So when that goes away, having her, retain some of that HP is going to be helpful as well. So I have her in lifesteal, happen to have some good lifesteal gear kind of not being used on my account right now. So her total stats are 4,000 HP. Definitely going to be mandatory HP chest on this champion. I can't see any other way to build her. HP percentage on the chest. Speed on the boots is what I would advise on your Sandlashed Survivor. So speed boots, HP chest, crit rate or crit damage, probably crit rate on the gauntlets. You want a crit rate as close to 100% as possible. You don't have to stress out the crit damage on this champion. I'd rather kind of go ahead and go with some accuracy again so we can land those debuffs, and that's how I have her built out. HP percentage is good too. Basically survivability, and then keeping your speed in check with the rest of your team is going to be solid on her. One note on that though is I will make a note. You want your buffers ideally going before, a little bit faster than Sandlash, because she's going to be extending those buff durations. So you want the buffs to go on first, and then she extends the buffs, right? So having her go first is going to basically waste a turn if you have her faster than your buffers. So just keep that in mind, okay? Accuracy, banner. You can go defense banner if you don't care about the provokes as much and you just want her as a debuff extender, you want to use her for that aura and the ally protect and just a sheer defense support build, you can just go defense across the board on the accessories. I decided to get more value out of that those other accuracy based abilities that she has. So I went with accuracy on the banner. Crit damage on the amulet. Again, you can totally go defense. Her damage is based on defense as well. She'll do a little bit more damage though if you have crit damage versus defense, but you're sacrificing a little bit of sustainability on the champion. Defense on the ring is pretty much going to be a must. Looking for defensive sub rolls as well. We already talked about all the other artifacts on this champion. Let's go ahead and use her, guys. I just happen to have Faction Wars with my Orc Crypt, which actually is not complete. I'm on stage 19 right now, so I figured I'd try for the very first time using her with you guys. So here we go. Let's go ahead and put her with Vrask. So I have some healage with Vrask and Sandlashed. I have, unfortunately here, I have Seer who's going to strip away all my buffs, and then I have Zargala and I have Ultimate Galek on the team. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. I might, if this ends up being like a 10-minute battle, I might go ahead and just come at you guys at the end of it. But this is the first match I've ever had with Sandlashed on this squad, and you can already see that, it's going to be a problem having Seer on the same team because she's going to be taking away the ally protect, and it looks like I have a shield set on one of these champions. It must be Vrask that I have a shield set on. So I had the ally protection there, but Ultimate Galek actually still dies. So not ideal here, but Seer takes everybody down. Let's see if we can live. I'm not sure if I even have artifacts on Ultimate Galek right now, so maybe that's why he went down so fast, despite the heals and the ally protect from Sandlashed and Vrask. So let's see if the rest of the four champions, oof, Zargala goes down. Oh man, looks like it's not going to make a difference here unless the trio here can finish off these next two waves. This is going to be interesting to watch now. Let's see if we can do it. I will bring you this win or lose. I have a retaliation set, I believe, on a relentless set, on Vrask. to keep those heals coming as much as possible. You can see him getting a lot of extra turns, which he also has a chance on his A1. But there's the Endless Sands ability there, guys. And, you know, we're making our way here. Let's see if we can survive. We're not going to 3-star it, but the lifesteal is helping out as well here. The lifesteal and the Vrask synergy is keeping Sandlashed alive. She has 4,000 defense. We're still struggling with these strong hits from the opponents here, but we'll see what we can do. I forgot what the third wave is in terms of what we're going to be facing. But again, Vrask here, really MVP, and the lifesteal set. I mean, I think she'd be dead if not for the lifesteal. But we get past the second round. Let's see if we can clear this third wave here. Let's see. And this is why she's so important for it. That Endless Sands didn't really do much. I didn't even see how hard she hit, but keep in mind, this is the most difficult, you know, area of the entire game, right? In terms of faction wars. So removes all buffs from all enemies and all allies there from Seer. That really helped out there in a big way. And again, just trying to continue to use our A1 and chip away at these opponents, man. I'm going to show you after this, I'm going to show you Ice Golem. Because it is a good affinity matchup for us. Unfortunately, the Revival was on that champion there, so this could be a long haul of a match. If we can keep everybody alive, I think we'll be just fine, though. And then after that, I will show you Clan Boss on Nightmare. I'm going to put her in like a really good team just to see what kind of damage we can put out with her in the Aura lead. So again, if you guys don't like that, just let me know in a future video, and we will go ahead and not put her on a good team, put her on like a team of all rares or something and allow her to carry and see what we can do there. But it looks like we will actually win this match. It's just going to take us a while. So I'm for the sake of brevity, I'm going to go ahead and bring you at the end of this one, then we'll go into Ice Golem. Alright guys, so it wasn't too much longer, 355 there, and I do think the Ultimate Galek did not have any good gear on, or any gear, excuse me, on him at all, hence him dying very early. But all said and done, she did 500,000 damage too, so helped out a little bit in the damage department. Had a lot of ally protect, 150k, a lot of heals there, 162. So really well done by Sandlashed, helping me clear a stage that I previously hadn't. I think that I could probably take on stage 20, and who knows, if I do some re-gearing of these champions, maybe I can just clear Auric Crypt as well, now that I have Sandlashed. So let's go ahead and go to Ice Golem's Peak and put her on a team. This is a pretty solid team here. You guys know I love Scylla the Drakes. I say it every single video. But this is a team that's not going to be the fastest in the world, but rather it's going to be very consistent. And that's what we're looking for. As I always mention here, it's not about how fast you can get these runs down. You know, sure, it's nice, it's cool to have a 40-second Ice Golem team, but it's really cool not to die ever and have a 100% success rate. That way, you're being efficient and you're never wasting your energy. And that's exactly what's going to happen on a team like this. We have 2 ally protects that will kind of synergize off of each other in Miscreated Monster and in Sandlashed Survivor. We have the Aura lead of Sandlashed Survivor. Again, that 25% defense is really good. We have only 1 damage dealer really in Royal Guard, and then we have Scylla the Drakes for revivals, for stun, and we have again Miscreated for stun as well. Stag Knight is our debuffer on this team. Stag Knight, definitely one of my favorite epic champions in the game. I would put Sandlashed and Stag Knight definitely. And look at that ability. You know, Scylla the Drakes has a nice synergy actually between with Sandlashed, because Scylla Drakes puts an increased speed buff for 2 turns on one random ally on a passive. And what she's going to do, Sandlash, is she's going to extend that. So then you're going to end up having 2 or 3 champions with increased speed. You see it right now. I have 2 champions with increased speed. It's going to help you out. And she just makes everybody a little bit better on your team while keeping them alive at the same time. So we're at the Ice Golem, and the thing I like about this team once we actually get to the Ice Golem is it's not super fast, but it's super safe, right? I mean, we're not shipping him away. Sometimes when you have so much damage on your Ice Golem team, you're going so fast that you're not able to keep up with him auto-attacking when he gets below those damage thresholds, and your team just wipes. So sometimes the most high-powered teams, without kind of a slow and steady approach when you get to Ice Golem, are actually not 100% successful. And again, that's what our aim is 100% success rate. So again, getting those shields up, Royal Guard's doing his thing, taking a lot of damage, but we're not really worried about it. Her passive will be up, I think, Ooh, actually, we do lose Stagnite, but Scylla Drakes is also frozen. She needs to get in there and get that revival up, and I have faith that she will. But Sandlashed full HP, which is nice, you know? And again, we're right back in business here, right back in operating order. That's the nice thing of having revivals and heals everywhere on this team. Shield as well, and there's the shield right on cue from Miscreated Monsters. So a really, really strong team in terms of, and I'm not expecting everybody to have all these champions, but the idea here is construct a team that has these sort of elements. A reviver on the team if you can in Scylla Drakes, an attack or nuker on the team, that would be Royal Guard on this team, a debuffer on this team, again, in this example would be Stagnite, and then have a Sandlashed Survivor fits in very, very beautifully with another CC champion like Miscreated Monster. So let's see, defense, speed, defense, HP, crit damage, yeah, but it's cursed. All right, let's go on to Clan Boss before we end this video, guys. Let's see, I have another special treat for you guys in terms of the next champion. We're gonna do a champion review. I just built him out for Husk. And I think that Husk is a really, really cool champion that you guys are gonna like. No one really talks about Husk. Let's see, like I said, an incredible team here. Let's just see how we do. We don't have any attack down on this team, but I think we're gonna be okay. Because we have so much. We have the buff extender and we have so many amazing buffs on this team. And we have Turvold on this team because if there's ever a team that Turvold synergizes well with, I don't really use Turvold anymore. I've actually used Brackus the Shifter instead of him on most of my Clan Boss teams. But Turvold does more damage based on the number of buffs that he has on him. And with Sandlashed Survivor, and it just like, it's kind of niche, but and it doesn't really apply to, I'm sure, most of you guys watching, but I'll talk about it briefly here. Turvold has a grant an extra turn ability in his kit as well. So what that's going to do is that's going to strip away his buffs one turn sooner because he basically wastes a turn granting an extra turn on buffing himself. But with Sandlashed on there, she's going to mitigate that loss by extending all his buffs, and he does more damage on his A3 Judgment based on how many buffs he has. You follow? So because of that, that just makes a really, really great synergistic team between having Turvold and Sandlashed Survivor on the same team. Again, that's very niche. He is a legendary Void champion, but I thought it would be worth mentioning because it's not just Turvold. You can pair her with champions that have grant an extra turn ability. There's a lot of them out there, right? I think even Aethel has one, right? So these self-buffers who grant an extra turn, you can put her on their team, and again, it will mitigate that turn loss on the cooldown of those abilities or the refresh of those abilities on those champions. So I'm going to go ahead and take you guys in the end of this match and see how we do because it's going to be a long one. Let's see if we can get past 35 rounds with this team. Be right back. Alright guys, 36.2 million damage, not bad considering no speed tuning and negative affinity matchup for a couple of champions, Valkyrie and Sandlash. Sandlash at 4.2 million, basically off of War Masters because again, negative affinity against magic affinity Clan Boss. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. Sandlashed Survivor, really, really solid champion to invest in. If you have her, congratulations. If you don't have her, hopefully you do get her. Sending my good luck charm to you guys. So the positive vibes coming your way. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.